Hi, everybody. It's Julie Hennrikus, one of the Wicked authors, and welcome to the third week of January. As I am recording this, it is going to go live on Wednesday, January 22nd. So, 3 weeks in, how are your goals doing for this new year? Boy, that's a loaded question, isn't it, for all of us? I am one of the other hats I wear is I am the executive director of Sisters in Crime, which is an organization for crime writers, and it supports crime writers in a lot of different ways. We've also got readers and librarians and all sorts of folks who are members of Sisters in Crime. But on January 4th, I did a webinar on goal setting, and I'm still thinking about that because for any of you who teach, you know that talking about something you learn as much by teaching as you do by listening to things. And so one of the things I'm thinking about that I talked about in January 4th and I want to talk about today is exactly how do you set goals that are manageable and that can keep you going. And the big answer to that is you break them down. So I'm a big believer in big, audacious goals, right? If one of my goals is, and this is one of my life goals, to see a book of mine in Times Square on one of those billboards, right? That's a goal. So what is it going to take to make that happen? Some of it's in my control, some of it's out of my control. The stuff that's out of my control, I can work towards, but I can't fix the world, right? But I can say, all right, this is what I want to do. So what does that mean? First of all, it means I need to finish a book and it needs to be of that caliber that will get, the attention that gets you to Times Square. It needs to be very well written. I need to have a publisher who wants to promote and do things to that degree, right? Those are just some of the things that have to happen. So my tip for this is that once you've sort of set that audacious goal, then let's break it down into different categories of things that you can do. Writing the book, getting an agent, writing query letters, all those are different things. And then take each of those steps and break them down even further. So writing a book isn't just writing a book. Writing a book is coming up with an idea. If you're a plotter, it's working on that. If you are more of an organic writer or a pantser, then it is at least having some of the stuff that you can work with so that you can keep moving forward. It is writing that first draft, then letting it sit, writing editing again, sending it out to beta readers, editing it again, and then sending it out, seeing what kind of response you get, and then possibly going back and reworking the book or starting all over again. It's a long process. Writing a book is not easy. It is incredibly fulfilling, but it is not easy. So once I have each of those steps and I know how to write a book, and it's never easy. I'm going to keep saying that because people who are watching this may sort of think that it's going to be. Then I can say, in order to write this book, I need to spend 6 weeks plotting. This is how I write. There's no one way to write a book. And then I need to spend 3 months writing scenes, and then I need to let it sit for 2 weeks, and I need to spend 6 weeks editing, things like that. If you have a hard deadline and if you have a contract you do, then you work backwards. Or if you're saying, I want to release a book on December 15th, 2025, then work backwards, right? So in order to release this book, I have to have the finished product ready to go out, to get some blurbs and everything else by November 1st. I'm making this up, which means I need to have that final draft done by October 15th, which means I need to, boom, 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 boom. Some people can do that, some people can't. Make it so that audacious goals are important, but make it so that it's achievable as well. Now, this is true for anything. This is true for losing weight, for cleaning your house, for moving, for, figuring out an educational plan for rehabbing from, surgery or getting back in shape or anything. It is step by step. The goal may feel like a mountain, but you get there step by step. So 3 weeks in, most people have abandoned their goals for 2025 or their objectives or what they want to do. I'm going to encourage us all to go back, look at them again, and sort of break them down so that they're manageable and they're doable. Not easy. Doesn't have to be easy, but it does have to be something that you feel like you can do, and then move forward from there. As I mentioned early on, I am the executive director of Sisters in Crime. I also host a podcast there, and I'm going to put a link of that in the show notes and on the blog for this episode, because let me tell you about that job and about one of the best parts of it is I do a weekly podcast talking to writers, and I talk to writers about their process for writing, and it's never the same conversation. And I always find something to be inspired by. And there are people who write things that I can't even imagine being able to write. Right? Or there are people who are pushing themselves in different directions, or there are people who are writing in a different genre as well as crime and mystery. And I just think it's an extraordinary opportunity. I think you might enjoy it, and I'm sure that you'll recognize some of the names of the folks that I've had the great privilege of talking to and will continue to. But I want us all, and I include me in this, to re-examine those 2025 goals, to see how I can break them down into manageable tasks and stop being impatient. A step by step will get us where we want to go. Always remember that. Step by step will get you where you want to go. So, thank you so much for listening to this or reading this or however you are or watching this, however you are enjoying this content, and keep on going. Thank you so much for being a reader or a follower of the Wicked Authors. The four of us really love our followers and our readers, and we're here to support you. And this month's about goals, and we've got some really exciting content coming up in the next 2 weeks to continue that conversation. Thanks so much.